All right. Awesome. Cool. Okay, equipment you're gonna need today is the usual, a letter ball or a letter ball of some sort. It could be a dog toy, a rolled up pair of socks, just something exciting for your eyes to look at. And then I only grabbed one pencil. I gotta go grab my other pencil. Two pencils, something with writing on it or lettering of some sort. Let me just grab my other one real quick. All right. And then remember with this class, because we work your visual and vestibular system, it's okay if you start to feel watery eyes, tired eyes, itchy eyes, maybe even a little dizziness or nausea. But all of that means that you've met your edge and we don't want to go too far past your edge. So back off, take a break. You could grab some water, close the eyes. All right. Come back to a seated or standing grounded position here. I'll just start with a few shoulder circle rolls. Just noticing how the body's feeling. Okay. We'll come to a still point. We'll close the eyes or soften the gaze. And starting with that low belly breath. And let's bring one hand over the low belly and one hand over the chest today. We'll do a little bit of breath work here. And maybe just first noticing where your breath is. Does your breath feel shallow or deep? Are you able to breathe through your nose? Are you breathing into the low belly, the chest? Maybe you notice you're breathing into your neck or your shoulder area. So just noticing it first and then seeing if you can start to slow that breath down, especially your exhale. Trying to make that exhale a bit longer than the inhale. Trying to just breathe into the low belly. No need to count for this one. Just taking some easy long exhales. And maybe noticing how the rest of your body is feeling. Any parts that feel not so good today. We'll take one more inhale. One more long, slow exhale. And we'll open the eyes. Okay. So hands can stay on the lap. Just gonna move kind of slow at first. Finding that hula hooping of your ribs around your pelvis. Just moving nice and slow, trying to reach your ribs into every edge of that circle. And switching directions. Okay. And then coming back to the center. Good. Let's take the hands. Finding a nice rubbing of the hands. Building up some heat. It feels good to do more of a scratching for the hands because maybe that helps wake up that area more. You can do more of a scratch or a rub. Okay, and then just going through each finger, we won't do the full bottle cap twist, but just giving each finger and each nail a squeeze if you can. Or if you're unable to squeeze each finger and nail, rubbing each finger and nail. Okay. And then giving the wrist a bit of a shake. Okay. Let's bring that, into more of a full body tap here. So starting on one arm, and whatever kind of tool you want to use, whether it's a stroke or a tap. Just waking that whole arm up, that whole shoulder up. Bringing your attention to these areas. Remember, the point of doing this whole tapping and body warm up is so that our brain can have a more clear map of our physical body. When our brain can more clearly differentiate parts of our body from each other and can more clearly feel and sense each part of the body, we can more efficiently move that area. And we can also know when something is wrong too. Okay, we'll switch sides. Whenever I'm having any kind of an ache or a pain, whether it's a knee or a neck or anything like that, the first thing I do is this. Before I try to figure out what's going on or address it or anything, I'll just give that area a little bit of attention and love. So my brain can proprioceptively map that part of my body onto my brain. And a lot of times that actually significantly helps with the pain or the discomfort or the soreness that I'm feeling. So it's always a good place to at least start. Okay, coming to the neck and doing the same thing. Maybe you're rubbing the neck. Maybe you're giving the neck a little bit of a scratch. But just waking that area up. And then we'll bring that into the chest. Into the belly area. Again, whatever feels good, a rub, a tap, a shake, a scratch. If you're able to reach the sides of your ribs or your mid and low back, give those areas some attention. And then we'll bring that down into the legs. And the knees a rub. Giving the lower legs a rub if you can reach the ankles and the feet if you'd like. All right. Let me zoom in a little here. We'll come back to a little bit of face tapping, which we were doing last week. So using just the tips of your fingers or your knuckles, but very gently, And maybe just starting under that that area under your cheekbones and across your cheekbones, working down the jaw into the chin and just finding a nice gentle tap. You can close your eyes. You can hum as you're doing this one if that feels good. Skip the temples, so we don't really want to put too much pressure on the temples. Come up to the forehead and then doing that same thing up over the forehead. Any area that feels tender, feel free to skip, especially the temples. Be tapping right on the eyebrows or giving the eyebrows a little bit of a rub. Giving the whole eyes a rub, around the eyes, a little bit of a gentle rub to help bring more blood flow to the eyes, more fluids to the eyes. When we stare at a screen all day, this area actually gets a little dehydrated for us and we blink more. Or I'm sorry, we blink less. Okay, and then we'll shake that out. Okay, and then if you can, we'll take the hands, interlace the fingers, and we're just gonna find a full wrist wave here. So elbow, wrist, wrist, elbow, like this big wave is moving through the arms. If it's hard for you to interlace the fingers, you can press the knuckles together and you can do the same thing. This can be a bit of a coordination challenge for some people. So if this feels challenging for you to get the rhythm of the wave, yeah, go really slow. Elbow lifts, wrist lifts, other wrist lifts as the side now starts to slope down, and other elbow lifts. Yeah, there you go. Elbow, wrist, wrist, elbow. If it feels easy for you, switch directions. If this feels hard for you, don't switch directions. Stay with the direction you're going and see if you can find that rhythm. As one joint goes up, it kind of falls again, just like a wave would moving through an ocean. Up, up, down, down. Yeah. Okay. Now let me back up a little bit. Leave the fingers interlaced if you're able to, or knuckles pressing together is fine too. And you're just going to extend, so palms are facing down, extend the arms out towards me, just getting a little stretch through that side of the wrist, and then pull it back in. Face your palms forward, extend the arms forward, and back in. Flip so your knuckles are facing forward, extend forward and in, and then again, so palms facing down, reach forward and in, palms facing forward, extending and in, knuckles facing forward, extending and in. Yeah, one more time. Palms down, palms forward. Yeah, and you can do one arm or one arm at a time. And then knuckles forward. Okay, good. And then give both arms a good shake. Okay. Let's take both hands. We'll bring them behind the head, interlace fingers behind the head. You can also cross the arms in front of the chest if that feels easier. We're just going to do some upper spine rolls here. So we're going to tip off to the left. We're going to roll through the center, just through the upper spine, so you're barely lowering down. Come into a right side bend and sit tall. Right side bend, roll through the center. Left side bend, sitting tall. Side bend, rolling through, sitting tall, side bend, rolling through, sitting tall. One more. Rolling through and tall. Last one, the other direction. And sitting tall. And then arms come down, maybe giving the ribs and the shoulders more of a shake this time. Okay. Good. So let's take both arms, both shoulders, and kind of reach down for the ground. Yeah, and just to open up the chest and finding that active unshrug, and you're going to tilt your head to the left. And then tilt your head to the right. If you're unable to do this from the head and the neck, you can do this more from the spine and bring that more into a full side bend. Yeah. Tilt the neck left and right. Okay, I'm gonna layer on with this one. We were doing some neck movements last week. Some of you tilt left, and then I want you to point your nose down at the left armpit, and then back to the center. Tilt your head right, hold that, and then point the nose down at the right armpit. So this kind of changes the stretch to a little bit more of the back of the neck, and then to the center. Good. And again, tilt your head left, nose points down to the left armpit. Take your right arm and kind of reach it back behind you as if somebody were handing you something behind you. Reset everything back to the center, setting a little bit of a nerve floss. Tilt your head right. Point your nose down to the right. Take your left arm, reaching it back behind you. And then back to the center. Good. And then take both arms, just do some big backwards circles. Just noticing how that's feeling for you today. Could let the breath go. You could make a sound. One more. Okay, good. And then we'll take the hands. If you're able to make a fist, make a fist. And just finding some big, slow circles with the wrist. Okay, good. And shake the hands. Great. Okay, so now coming into more of those neck movements. I'm gonna give you my side profile here. So we're gonna start with that pigeon one. So moving the head forward and back, just gliding it forward and back. The floor of your mouth still stays parallel with the actual floor. Okay, so kind of like how a pigeon adjusts their head forward and back. And I want your focus to be more on the pulling back. Like I want you to think, how many double chins can you give yourself? Yeah, gliding it forward, gliding it back. When you glide that head back, can you feel, it's okay if you don't, because these are small muscles. Can you feel any of the muscles working in the floor of your mouth or kind of deep in the front of your neck? Again, it's okay if you don't. You might even feel your abdominals helping with this one because your deep neck muscles connect down into your deep abdominal muscles. I actually taught a workshop on this a couple years ago. So this is helpful. The pulling back part, the stacking the head over the spine can be really helpful for working on your posture because a lot of us, regardless of what you're doing throughout the day, will tend to sit like this with that rounded upper back and the head thrown back. So the back of my neck is shortened and the front of my neck is lengthened. So when we can find that more upright position and draw the chin in, it brings us into a better posture for our shoulders and our neck. Okay, so I'm gonna layer on to that. If that feels hard enough, you can stay with that one. Otherwise, we're gonna do that 80s dance move and move the head and move the head from side to side. So again, my head is still staying parallel with the floor. It's gliding to the left and gliding to the right. Very similar to how we do, yeah, and if you're unable to do it with your neck, you can do it with your ribs. Very similar to how we do that, more of the rib translation when we're working on the spinal mobility. Now we're just working more on that upper cervical, that upper neck mobility. Just gonna watch people here for a sec. There we go. There we go. Just imagine like there's a good beat. You're on the dance floor. There's a good beat. Yeah. That's good. That's pretty good, everybody. Okay, so we're just going to connect all four of those movements. Last one, I promise. So you're going to now, again, just like we did the hula hoops with our ribs in the beginning of class, you're going to do that same movement with our neck. The neck stays, the head stays parallel with the floor. And you're moving your head in that full circular position. Just gonna watch people here. Yeah. Trying to reach every edge of the circle. Go ahead and switch directions.
I did not do these in the 80s.
What were you doing in the 80s, Chad?
So anyway.
And throw on some 80s music. Yeah, that's right. Tina's probably got a whole playlist for that, huh? Okay, good. Go ahead and relax. Let's find one reset here before we play some letter ball. So interlace the fingers if you're able to. Find a big reach up. Take an inhale and exhale to articulate as low to the floor as you can. Pause at the bottom and just give everything a little shake here, a little wiggle. Wiggle the shoulders, wiggle the ribs. If you're able to wiggle the hips, you can do that. And then we'll slowly roll ourselves back up. Yeah, one more like that. Inhale at the top. And exhale to roll down. Inhale at the bottom. And exhale out. Good. Opening, slowly bringing the arms back down. I'll have you grab your letter ball. Okay. Okay, if you've been playing with me for a while, go ahead and just go right into playing. I'm just going to explain this for folks on the recording. So holding that ball into your chest, you're going to move it away from you at any angle around you that you want. Say the first letter number you see and then pull it into your chest. Move it away at a different angle, say the first letter number you see and pull it back in. And you're just going to continue to do that all the way around you. If you're able to play catch with yourself, bouncing it, throwing it, you can do that too. The more unpredictability you can add, the better. You can even, if you're able to throw it, you can kind of throw it from left hand to right hand and back. Remember to catch some of those balls or move some of those balls in more of the overhead position. Okay, I'm gonna layer on, we haven't done, this is gonna be very familiar, but we haven't done this layer while playing letter ball. So every time you move it or catch it or throw it, and you pause it, you're gonna look at the letter number you see. You're gonna look at something past the ball. So right now I'm looking at an exit sign in the studio. So I'm gonna look at the ball, I'm gonna look at the exit sign, ball, exit sign, and I'm gonna throw it again. Ball, now I'm looking at a bolster, ball, bolster, and I'm gonna throw it again. So you're just adding a near, far, with each throw or move of the letter ball. Oops, shit. Near, far, and then move it around. Near, far, move it around. Remember, when you're doing all of the near, far work, you want your eyes, you want that object to come into focus. So nothing should be blurry here. If it's blurry, you might be looking too far away or something like that. Yeah. If you're finding that's kind of easy, you can just increase the number of eye jumps you do. So instead of doing near, far 2 times, you could do it 3 times, or you could do it 4 times. Near, far, near, far, near, far, near, far, near, far, near, far, and so on. But if it takes a while for your eyes to refocus, then just do it a couple times. The farther your eyes have to look beyond the ball. So if you're looking out the window at a tree kind of far away from you, the harder it is for your eyes. So if you pick something a little bit closer, at least to start, that would be easier, but you get to choose here. Do maybe a few more throws. Oops. Right. Okay. And then we'll set that ball down. Let's just do a little bit of a reset here. Okay. Oh, do you have to go, Anya? Bye. Good to see you. Okay, so I just want you to start with a cross tap. So taking your hands, your opposite hand, sorry, my allergies are awful today. Taking your opposite hand, tapping that opposite thigh and switching sides. Tap, 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 tap. Yeah. If you're standing, you could tap more of the opposite hip, or you can even bring that into more of a full march. For those of you that are seated, I'm just going to add in one more layer. We'll go cross thigh tap, cross thigh tap, cross shoulder tap, cross shoulder tap, thigh, thigh, shoulder, shoulder, and just alternating with those thigh, thigh, shoulder, shoulder. Okay, notice which hand you're using. So which hand you're using to tap the thigh. So which is the hand that first taps the thigh? And now I want you to switch that. So basically switching directions that you're going. Thigh, thigh, shoulder, shoulder. Thigh, thigh, shoulder, shoulder. We're not going to get into some of the coordination stuff just quite yet, just finding a bit of a reset. Yeah, and if this is too challenging for you, just stay with the thigh taps right there, those cross thigh taps. Go for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good, and we'll shake that out. Okay, back up a little bit. Let's come into some bigger spinal movements here. So arms will be out into a T. Yeah, we'll just start with the side bend. So we'll side bend left and then center. Inhale to side bend and exhale center. Inhale and exhale. Yeah, do 2 more and I'm gonna layer on. Last one. Okay, good. We're gonna add a bit of a rotation. So I'm gonna have you side bend to the left. You're gonna rotate down to the floor. So both arms are kind of like an airplane rotated down to the floor. Stay in that side bend though. Now lift up to the sky. So both palms are facing up to the sky. You're still kind of in this twisted side bend position. Come back into a side bend. Come all the way up. Yeah. Side bend right. Hold the side bend, rotate down to the floor. Hold the side bend, rotate up to the ceiling. Yeah, this one's a big reach. Come back into the side bend and all the way back up. Side bend left. Rotate down towards the floor. Rotate up to the sky. Back into a side bend and seated tall. Yeah, when you do these, try not to let the waist collapse. So I still want your underside working for you. Side bend, rotate down, rotate up, into a side bend, and center. 2 more. Side bend, rotate down, rotate up, side bend, and center. Last one. Side bend, rotate down, rotate up, side bend, and all the way up. Okay, give the shoulders a little shake. Let's grab your 2, let's see, actually, am I gonna have you, you know what, let's do these without the pencils today. It'll just be a little bit easier for the upper body. Okay, coming into some more vestibular work here. So I'm gonna have you look away from the screen. We'll take the eyes off the screen to give the eyes a break. And find something not too far away from you. I'm looking at a light switch on the wall in front of me. And I want your eyes to pinpoint on a particular point or whatever you're looking at. We'll all do this one together. So folks that are blind or visually impaired, you're gonna be doing the same thing. This is the VOR, that vestibulo-ocular reflex. And you're gonna start with that head. So eyes stay locked on that object. And starting with a side to side shake of your head. We're gonna do some different shapes with our head today, but we'll just start simple. Eyes stay locked forward. Head moves side to side. The faster the faster and bigger you move with that head, the harder it is for the vestibular system. Just making sure whatever it is you're looking at, you can still see clearly. Otherwise, you might be moving too quick. Do a couple more. And then come back to the center. Take both hands, cup them over your eyes, finding as much darkness as you can. Maybe just come back to a belly breath for a sec as your reset. And then we'll slowly take the hands away and we'll open the eyes. Okay. Next shape you're going to do is the number 8. So eyes stay on that object. You're going to trace the number 8 with your nose, as big of a number 8 as you can, where you can still see that object in front of you. For folks that are standing, you can find a single leg balance. You can have one foot in front of the other to challenge the balance. Okay. Pause. Switch directions for that 8 that you're tracing. Make sure you can still clearly see that object in front of you. Oops. Do one more. Okay, and relax. Yeah. One more time, take those hands, cup them over the eyes. Find that low belly breath again. And then we'll remove the hands and we'll open the eyes. Okay. Let's just, because I want to leave time for this next one. Okay, I'm going to give you a coordination one. So let's start with this. Hang on, I have to remember this pattern. I learned this, shout out to, I'm taking a drumming class. So shout out to my drumming teacher, Phoenix, who taught me this one. So you're going to tap your chest with both hands, and then you're going to strain your arms out in front of you and clap. Yeah. And let's just start with that. Tap the chest and clap. Okay. And then you're going to tap the chest, and then you're going to take both arms out into a T, and you're going to snap your fingers. Okay. And just stay with that one. Tap the chest, snap. Tap the chest, snap. Yeah. If you're only doing that with one arm, that's fine, because I'm just going to keep layering on. And then we're going to alternate. So tap the chest, clap in front of you, tap the chest, snap. Tap, clap, tap, snap. Yeah, and it's it's okay. If that pattern right there feels challenging for you, maybe just go back to a tap and a snap. Just stay with half of that. If it feels like you can do both, tap, snap, tap, clap, tap. There you go. Snap, tap, clap. If it helps you to close your eyes, that might be helpful too. Okay, I'm just going to give you one more layer. So let me make sure I get this right. We're going to go tap, snap, tap, clap in front of you. Tap, snap, tap, clap overhead. If you're able to lift overhead, or just lift one arm overhead. Okay, so tap. We're going to do a snap in between each one. Tap, snap, tap, clap in front of you. Tap, snap, tap, clap overhead. Tap, snap, tap, clap in front of you. Tap, snap, tap, clap overhead. Tap, snap, tap in front. Tap, snap, tap overhead. There we go, there we go, there we go. Snap, tap in front of you, tap overhead. Oh God, did I mess that up? Snap. Okay, sorry. I was watching one of you. Sorry, let me start that over. Tap, snap, tap, clap in front of you, tap, snap, tap, clap overhead. That's it. Tap, snap, tap, clap in front of you, tap, snap, tap, clap overhead. Tap, snap, tap, front, tap, snap, tap, overhead. One more time. Tap, snap, tap, in front, tap, snap, tap, clap overhead. Nice. Okay, shake it out, shake it out. There's 2 more layers onto that, but I'm not going to do that today. Cuz let me tell you, I couldn't even get it in drumming class. And we know how that looks when I can't even do it in class. Okay. Good. Go ahead and interlace fingers one more time. We'll take a big reach overhead. Okay, and let's find some full spine and body circles here. So we're going to draw a big circle off to the left, all the way down to the ground, off to the right, and in front. Let's just do a few slow circles in each direction. Move at your own pace. Inhaling for half the circle. Exhaling for half the circle. If you haven't switched already, switch directions. Just noticing how everything's feeling. I'm going to do one more here. All right. Come up tall, lower the arms down. We'll come back to a seated or standing grounded position. We'll close the eyes. And see if you can find that long exhale again. Easeful breathing, just slightly longer exhales. Just noticing where your breath is, how the ribs feel. Go ahead and think of one thing you're grateful for today. We'll take one more inhale, one more exhale, and we'll open the eyes. All right. Thank you for joining, everyone. Just stop this recording.
Hey, Ray,